a referee, and of course, people were just looking at it. It's a really sad story and quite poor as well. Well, we can do better, even as football fans. We'll talk about that, by the way. Well, from the European scene, we'll look at Ronaldo. Well, the man continues to show class and quality. The top scorer in 2023 in the world. That's a conversation. Scored twice for Portugal yesterday in their 5-0 victory. We'll look at what's happening from the qualification today. We'll see England take on Italy, and it should be one game to look out for a repeat of the Euro 2020 final, where Italy defeated England on penalties to win the trophy. Sadio Mane scored yesterday, by the way, for Senegal as they defeated Cameroon. Look at the Manchester United ownership crisis. Yesterday, we promised that we'd discuss the story. Sheikh Jassim has officially withdrawn his bid to get off United. And of course, this man has been lurking around, the owner of Nice, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. The man is set to buy off 25% stake at United. And we hear that 25% stake is around the football department of the football club. So the man is going to be in charge of the football decisions to be made at United. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is his name. Well, we'll talk about the stories and so much more on the show this afternoon. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Football Fans Attack. It is live on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Arizona is my name. I have UT David, and of course the team captain, Vladimir. And together we're going to do justice to what's in the plate. 090-2223-1011. And, of course, 0817-624-8565. The numbers to give you the chance to be a part of the show this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to go down. Welcome once again. So the conversation starts now from the Akwa Ibom State Governor's Cup. Action continued today, and we'll have to look at the games that have been done and dusted for today in the different centers across the state. And, of course, look at the table, how things are shaping up so far. Well, before we look at the table, before we look at the games, rather, let's take you through the table as at yesterday evening. At the Uyo Senatorial District, Uyo City top with 12 points. Nsuribium second, 12 points. Uran third, 11 points. Ibonibum fourth, 11 points. Itu fifth, 10 points. Nsuritai sixth, 8 points. Basic Basutan 7, 5 points. Nsuribum 8, 3 points. And 18 and 9 with 3 points. And this is as at yesterday night. Well, for Ikwa Ibom Senatorial District, Obodokara City up unbeaten so far in the competition. 17 massive points garnered so far. Ikwa Ibom is second with 15 points. It's Unidum third with 14 points. Ikona fourth with 13 points. Back 50, 11 points. Temekbo sixth, 9 points. Orogonam 7, 8 points. Ini 8, 5 points. Ika 9, 5 points. And Okanafa 10 with 4 points. Sad story for the UK local government. Well, for the one that concerns myself, Kids in the district, Ibano sit up with 19 points. On our second, 18 points. Urefong third, 16 points. Ikorabasi fourth, 16 points. Ekit fifth, 14 points. Ibo sixth, 13 points. Udongoko 7 with 10 points. Binding 8 with 10 points. Oro 9 with 9 points. Ekit 10 with 4 points. Istanbul 11 with 4 points. And Okoba 12 with 11 massive points garnered so far. For the games that have gone down so far so good today, let's tell you that Obodokara defeated a back by a goal to nil today. Obodokara becomes the first team to qualify for the Super 12 competition. Congratulations to them. Uyo defeated Basic Bar Sultan by 2 goals to nil as well today. Odongoko and Rivong played a 1-1 draw at the Kid Stadium today, and those are the games we've seen so far in the Akwa Ibom State Governor's Cup. But let's also take you through the press release credited to the organizers of the Akwa Ibom State Governor's Cup, and of course it relates to the fan trouble that we saw on Sunday between Ekit and Ibano. Well, the statement reads, and I quote, "In view of the disturbance at the Ekit Township Stadium in the match between Ekit and Ibano on October 15, which led to the disruption of the match, and relying on the report by the match commissioner, the evidence gathered from the Ekit Senatorial District Committee, Ekit are in breach of Rule 6 subsection 5 of the 2023 Akwa Ibom State Governors Cup competition. In that, on Sunday, October 15th, 2023, in the course of match, the 15th fixture, Ekit versus Ibno, your fans, referring to Ekit now, attacked the center referee at the end of the match and assaulted him mercilessly after performing his duty, a despicable act that brought the game to disrepute. Consequently, the Akwa Ibom State Football Normalization Committee hereby imposed the following sanctions. A fine of 500,000 naira on Ekit for bringing the game to disrepute and failing to control the conduct of the offense. Another 500,000 naira for the medical bills to be assaulted of the assaulted referee who is sitting in the hospital. And the B1, the fines are to be paid before the next game, which comes up on Thursday, the 19th of October 2023. The remaining matches involving Ekit and Ibno in the preliminary round have been moved to the Uyo Township Stadium. The goal scored by Ibno has been upheld, with the final score of the match being Ekit 0 and Ibno 1. And of course, that's the story. Well, it goes on and on and on and all of that. By the way, the statement is signed by Sir John Itim, the secretary of the Akwa Ibom State Football Normalization Committee. Right, so UT, I'll start with you. Videos are circulating on social media right now of what happened in Ekit. Well, what reportedly happened, particularly, because these days videos can be doctored. But basically, fan trouble, 500,000 naira fine, make that 1 million naira enough?
I said it in the morning that it's not enough because if you look at since I think the second match week where we've actually had regular incidences of fans violating the rules and regulations guiding the competition, and even of course the coaches as well, the local government staffs violating these regulations. It looks like the fines coming off left, right, center for them are not enough. And that's why basically we've seen over time, even when there are fines, even when there are sanctions, they should pay humongous amounts of money. It looks like they're still doing it over time. And I said in there in the morning that it looks like it's not enough because you can't keep sanctioning a particular club or a particular team for something they've done and they're doing it over time. Points deduction should be enough for me regularly. Points deduction should be enough because bulk of them are also going in for, the qualifying stage. That's the knockout phase. So if you deduct 3-4 points from a particular point, maybe you had 12 points and you're being deducted 4 points from, the repercussion of that, the negative effect, the adverse effect it has for your team progressing forward. So I think the 500,000 naira fine being slapped on Ekit and of course the rest of other teams who are violating the rules are not enough for me. Right. It should be taken care of from that perspective.
Blyden, the first few match days of this competition, maybe the first 3-4 match days of this competition, games were going down smoothly. We barely heard of fan violence or fan trouble or anything. But all of a sudden, it started becoming from 1 case to 2 cases. There's even a local government that has been involved in 3 different cases of fan violence so far. So why the drama and why the frequency of these incidences all of a sudden?
Mari, I'm sad, I'm perplexed, I'm disgruntled and dissatisfied. I'm not happy. Because this game is supposed not to be a do-or-die affair. It's supposed to be a simple game of football where we give opportunity to young lads to play and get decent performances and we get to sport talent, but it's not worked out. Mari, here is it. From my analysis, from my view of this competition, early part of it, there were not many two-stakes. So the big lads weren't so involved. The chairman of local government, everyone, every stakeholder now wants to represent their local government, and they want to win. So the demands based on, because no matter how you want to tell me,
no intent to quote you, sure, Blighted. What's the role of local government chairman in football games played on the pitch of play?
Mari, we've seen those demands. You go to a stadium and you see a local government chairman or chairwoman, if you want to call it that, all screaming and getting upset. Making those comments during games, and it's always going to have a repercussion. It's going to stir the fans. That's the point I'm saying. And not just the local government chairman, we're talking about certain stakeholders in these different local governments. So those demands, when you begin to make those demands and those shouts, because look, come on, Mari, the fans, most of the fans are just young people who are sitting by, coming to watch this game, and they want to see what the leaders are doing. And the reactions from the leaders speaks volume. They seem to encourage this. That's the way I'm saying it, because I've seen some of these games and how it gets to play out. And these are the concerns. For crying out loud, we've talked about it even. It goes on. This a mini sample of the Nigerian Premier League. how fans respond all through the globe, all through the country. It's basically that for me. And it doesn't make sense by any standard. That is it. I'm just tired of it, Mari. I'm totally tired of it.
All right. Well, it's a really sad thing. As a matter of fact, it doesn't make any sense. And this is to the football fans who are listening to us right now and who go to these games to watch these games. Violence has never been the answer. Violence has never been the solution to any problem. You're disgruntled. You're not satisfied with the officiating. There are appropriate quarters to channel your complaints peacefully. There's no point to going there to beat a referee. It does not make any sense. Like Vladimir has said, this competition is not a do-or-die affair, right? It's just for us to enjoy the beautiful game. And of course, by the way, football is supposed to bring us together.
It's a family affair, so
that's the thing.
So
you play against your brother from another mother, play against your brother from another local government area, but of course, the peace and the unity and the tolerance, we still enjoy that as a matter of fact. So let's not go there and perpetrate violence anymore, please. And this is me begging. This is, of course, Blyden and UT also begging us. Let's not go there and do these things because we'll be praying for our league to get better. We're playing for football in the country to get better. How would football in our country and our state get better if we go there and beat referees? It doesn't make any sense. So please, thank you so much, Vladimir.
Mark, let me add this because here's the problem, biggest problem in world football. Because they say what is good for the goose is good for the gander. I watched the first game and there was a disruption of some sort. And you look at officials, they basically did nothing about it. And the next game it's happening. The next game it's happening. And in particular, when I hear teams like, I think Senator we've really talked about, they were consistent about certain disruption. No, what's in Seribum, we talked about some time ago.
Seribum, there was a disruption. There was also disruption.
Yeah. So there was something peculiar about Nseribum with disruption. And when you look at it, you're not doing anything about it. You're just peddling around it. It doesn't make sense. So in other words, you're saying others can do it, no problem. And now it's blown out of proportion. That's the way I see it. And I blame the officials in all of this also being part of it. Because when you put the right measures and you are really fair in your ordinances, and there's a rule that covers everybody, and everybody falls within that rule, the certain punishment should be made. And when you're not doing it to some other teams, what you end up doing is encouraging this, and now it's overblown. And barely every day now we're talking about disruptions and problems in the Governor's Cup, and it doesn't make sense to me.
All right, so that's the conversation. We'll look forward to seeing maybe a change as we gradually glide into the final week of the preliminary rounds and of course the Super 2 of competition. All right, so let's talk about something a lot more eye-catching because it's a sad story talking about people beating up referees. It doesn't make any sense. All right, so we hear that Akwa United have been moved to the Kids Township Stadium, the 18,000 capacity stadium, and in a letter by the league's chief operating officer, David Snowwoman, the league board has approved a Kids Stadium for Akwa United until such a time that the Nest of Champions will be less busy for international matches, and that's the story. FIFA and CAF recently approved the stadium as the only suitable stadium in Nigeria to host international matches, including involving clubs and national teams. So, Eyimba Football Club play at the Nest of Champions on Sunday. Rivers United, when the CAF Competitions Cup starts, play at the Nest of Champions. Nigeria, the Super Eagles play at the Nest of Champions. So, it's going to be quite busy. So, let's shift the promise keepers to the Kids Township Stadium. And this main start on Sunday. Akwa will take on Shooting Stars at the Kids Stadium on Sunday, while Eyimba play against the opponent at the Nest of Champions that same Sunday, Wydad Casablanca. As a matter of fact, the game comes up by 7 p.m. Well, Blyden, let's just get into the thick of the action. The Africa Football League kick-starts this Friday, as a matter of fact, and it's a story. On Friday, we'll see Simba SC take on Ali. On Saturday, TP Mazembe against Esperance of Tunisia, Petro de Luanda against Mamelodi Sundowns, and on Sunday, Eyimba will take on Wydad Casablanca. Well, the Africa Football League, just so you know, it's a competition involving the top teams in Africa who have built pedigree with their consistency and their class. Like, look at the records for Eyimba. They are 9-time Nigerian champions and 2-time CAF Champions League winners. Petro de Luanda, the 15-time Angolan champions. TP Mazembe, they are 19-time Congolese champions and 5-time CAF Champions League winners. For Mamelodi Sundowns, they are 16-time South African champions and a 1-time winner of the CAF Champions League. Simba SC are 22-time Tanzanian champions Al Ahly were the most successful team in this competition as far as records are concerned. 43-time champions of the Egyptian Premier League and 11-time champions of the CAF Champions League. Esperance of Tunisia, 32 times winners of the Tunisian League and 4-time winners of the CAF Champions League. Well, Blyden, it's a clash of the big boys. Yeah. The Africa Football League, what are you expecting?
Absolutely. I'm looking for a super football game from that angle. And when you have a tournament start at the quarterfinal stage, you know that it's such a super
big,
league.
really big.
Definitely big game. And I'm looking at Ayimba representing Nigeria. And on the other hand, the prize money is what trickles my fancy.
Absolutely.
$900,000 for just appearing in this competition at the quarterfinals and winning it $4 million and finishing second $2.8 million and third $1.7 million, and that's something to look forward to, an exciting one for me. But I'm looking at the tick of action, the best teams playing against the very best in the world. Al Ahly, for me, the biggest of names you want to talk about, Egyptian champions. They know how to do the business. They're the favorite to win it. AS Tunis also quite a decent side, get to do the work, but I'm going to see how Simba FC would respond in the first game on Friday against Al Ahly, and then see TP Mazembe. We know TP Mazembe, such a quality side, especially from Ivory Coast, doing the magic quite well. Yep. But against AS Tunis, that's something. And the Petro side from Angola taking on Sundowns from South Africa. Big game, but the biggest one for me on Sunday, which I have to watch it, would be Ayimba Football Club taking on Wydad Casablanca. Very big. Can Ayimba Football Club do this thing against Wydad Casablanca? Sunday will tell, Mary.
Definitely. 7 p.m. is the time, and of course, the game comes up at the Nest of Champions. Well, in the coming days, we get clear pictures to ticket, and of course, if they'll be sold for fans. Well, the game comes up at 7 p.m., so it's a story. Well, let's move on quickly and talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria blighting the way in action. We cannot forget that, actually. All right, so here's the story just later to restore parity for the Super Eagles at the Estadio Municipal de Albufeira in Portugal. And of course, Franco Yeka made it 2-1. And of course, the man, Moses Simon, made it 3-1. I was thinking it was going to be that kind of victory until the Mozambicans made it, they just reduced the deficit to just a goal. The game ended 3-2 at the end of the day. Key talking points, we'll start from the good news and then talk about the bad news, that kind of thing. UT. So, well, the good news is, first of all, it was a different 11 in the game against Mozambique yesterday, but nevertheless, the performance, especially the first half, was quite eye-catching.
Absolutely. I think there are some positives in as much as there are some negatives. There are some positives to take it off the game. Prior to the game, we're talking about the absentees. That's Victor Osimhen and Kelechi Iheanacho not participating. But then we saw the youngsters also living up to the billing. The inclusion of Terry Murphy, and then we're talking about Sadiq Umar as well, also contributing their quota to the national team. And it certainly shows you that we have almost a reckless abandon of talent in terms of attacking wise moving forward. And of course, we also saw new faces in the middle of the pack. Tom Dele Bashir also being introduced. Fisayo Dele Bashir rather also being introduced into the side, pairing with Joe Aribo. They were also, creative enough. Onyeka was also part of that mix, and he also scored a goal yesterday. So it certainly shows you that we also have, talent in terms of, midfield players and, of course, attacking players as well. So those were the positives to take out of the game. We saw goals left, right, center, and it shows you that we can't necessarily depend on the likes of Victor Osimhen to give us goals. We can always get goals from the other players who were there on the pitch of play.
I like to talk midfield with you, Blyden, every time. I don't know why, basically, right? So
yeah, it's my call, Mary.
Obviously. So we saw a different midfield combination in the game. Rafael Onyeka, somebody you've been clamoring to see start at the national team, played. Frank the Tank Onyeka also played, yesterday. The young Fisayo Dele Bashir also played. There was also, space for Joe Aribo in the game, although he was drifted a lot more to, the flanks, as a matter of fact. But what did you make of the midfield combination, and how were they able to contain Mozambicans?
Fascinating, but I wasn't impressed in the game, especially when you look at the number and the bulk period of that game Nigeria played. I mean, Mozambique played down to 10 men, and that's the conversation. I expected Nigeria to be more dominant and probably get to win it, but it never happened. But I think I was quite impressed with Fisayo Dele Bashir for me, at least bagging and assisting this one. One pass to a fellow midfielder, Franco Onyeka, and he got the goal, and it makes sense. Good combination there. But beyond that, some of these little positives. For me, I looked at the game on the backside. One concern would be now, I look at the Super Eagles of Nigeria, over 15 games they had not been able to win in a friendly match, and it speaks volume about the attitude and how they get to approach friendly matches. And then another concern for me, okay, Mari, we're talking about good news now, so let me not dwell on it until you start the conversation. On the other hand, I think beyond that, the only good thing from this particular game for me was that I saw young lads who never had an opportunity to play for the national team to start this game and probably give a good account of themselves. But on the other hand, or on the second note rather, the fact that we've been able to win a game after 15 games, that's something to check.
Since 2019, Mari.
Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. All right, let's talk about the bad news. Well, we have to start with the goalkeeping departments. We have no choice and to start from there. Francis Odinaka Ozoho, that's his name, by the way. Yeah, considered 2 goals of the night. That's 4 in this particular international window. 2 against Saudi Arabia, and of course, the 2 yesterday. Now, how do you defend, especially the first goal? I've been trying. I've watched that game over and over and over and over again, and I just cannot see a way to defend Francis Uzoho. And now he's posted on Twitter, posted on Instagram.
I was reading
with the caption, if easy like that, go do and make white man sign you. That's the caption. But how do you defend such a schoolboy? How do you defend such a laughable? I think it's offensive to consider kind of goal.
Mary, it's an embarrassment to Nigeria as a whole. You look at the team, you look at the quality of the side as well. I mean, no one will expect that we have such goalkeeper. That's basically the truth. There is nothing to defend about Francis Uzoho. I mean, these are mistakes that have happened over time with the national team. My question for Coach Pasero is this. Why must it always be Uzoho every single time starting games? The main essence of international friendly matches are to start French players, new players, and new tactics. Fine and good. We saw all the new players, the emergence of all the new players into the squad. Why not change the goalkeeping, players were? Why not change the goalkeeper and start on the goalkeeper? We had Okoye right there. We also had, of course, Adebayo Adeleye. Why not start either of them?
Now I'm blinded. Now, we had 3, now make that 4 goalkeepers, right?
2 yesterday on the bench.
To Portugal. Ojo, I think he didn't make it to Portugal at the end of the day. So, Maduka, Bayo, Adeleye, and of course, Francis Uzoho, and it's friendly games, like UT rightly said. Now, how do you even defend Pesero for starting Uzoho again after what we saw against Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, I can defend him for starting, but finishing the game, I cannot do that. Here's why. When a player has a bad game and you drop the player on the bench, it can make him lose confidence. So probably I could think he was trying to give him some confidence. Now we're playing against a weaker side, Mozambique. So let's see what you can do. But after the first goal, here's the biggest concern now. I could have brought in another goalkeeper. Give him a chance to keep. That's it. Give some other players also that confidence. But he never did. I think he faltered in that direction. But when you look at all the errors for me, the problem isn't just about the goals that were scored closer to the 18-yard box. The very fact that out of these 2 games, Nigeria has conceded 3 set pieces. And that's not making sense.
I wanted to talk about that. Now, thank you for reminding me, Blyden. Set pieces. Yeah. It's a thing, right? And it looks like a joke. We're getting to the AFCON. You're going to play against the best of the best.
Bulk of the set pieces were conceded.
And would not forget. Would not forget that we were bundled out of the AFCON 2019 through just one set piece. Yeah. Right? Oh my goodness. All right. So, well, let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue the show. And sincere apologies for that road breaking transmission. Well, all of this happened for us to serve you better. In case you're just joining, this is a Football Fans Attack. It is live on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Arizona's my name. I have Vladimir, the team captain, and of course, E.T. David. And we're talking. We're talking about Nigeria's performance yesterday at the friendly game against Mozambique. Oh, Blyden, sadly, the heavens do not want you to talk about Uzoho. But going forward, the question is, are we ready for the African 2023? Right.
I think we're ready. We just have to sort out the goalkeeping department.
If we have to sort out anything, it means we're not ready.
I don't think we're not ready.
We're not ready.
Mari, hold on. Here's why I'm saying so.
Right.
I saw the goalkeeper at Delay in the last qualifiers. He was pretty decent. He could be the one starting. I understand since Vincent Nyema it's been difficult, but all you need to do is just bring in the next goalkeeper, give him opportunity. Let me just have a beat on Uzoho. I heard about the Twitter. I can understand probably he's receiving lots of abuse and it's responding that way. It's still not good enough. But on the other hand, Uzoho are here, he's 23, but he doesn't look 23.
He's not 23.
He's
23.
No.
Perhaps 23 professionally.
No. On paper, Francis Odinaka Uzoho is 24.
Okay. If you say he's 24, but I say he's not playing like 24 for me.
Exactly, Blyden.
Maybe he's playing like a keeper that's about to retire, and that's the concern.
The world is
basically, but we're talking about Uzoho and the recent poor performances. As a matter of fact, that's why he's laughing.
There's something on my mind, but I won't say it.
What's on your mind?
I would have advised you to avoid Uzoho.
Really?
For now, yeah.
All right. Uzoho avoided. Well, let's take your calls in because, of course, we love to get your thoughts on the game. You saw the game, and of course, I would love to get your pulse as to the performance of Nigeria in yesterday's game and if we are really ready for the AFCON 2023. We're also streaming live on Facebook, by the way, the Planet Radio 101 FM page. Drop the comments there, and we are going to take them in the course of the show. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Football fan, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Hello. Oh, good afternoon.
And look for better and this Uzoho. Even Uzoho Lake is even better than that in Francis Uzoho. So that's going to be best for him because this is our oncoming African Cup of Nations. The guy will not be able to carry Nigeria to the next round. That's my view. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Yeah, welcome, Victor.
Yeah, good afternoon.
From the
Let me say that the ongoing Governor's Cup has really been a remarkable moment for all the local government.
All right.
Well, some of the local government have made the historical moment. So let them still maintain the form and maintain the status quo in the game to the final, and also for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But let me say that my own view of the Super Eagles game, because it's the friendly match and the performance is what will stress the players. So the coach of the Super Eagles has done a win trophy. They're still inexperienced in the business. So Super Eagles is a big team. If he wants to make a fine color in the AFCON, let him do his best to improve that team because let him teach his players how to score goals, how to defend, especially the goalkeeping aspect because we have so many players, even in the Nigerian locally, First League and the goalkeeper who can be making well. So it has been a long time for him to prepare. Let him prepare. That's my take. Thank you, Father.
Thank you very much for talking to us. The man says if it is you go do a make or you will man sign you. Good afternoon. Welcome. Tell us on the line. Tell us, have you seen Uzoho's tweet? Have you seen Uzoho's message? Have you seen Uzoho's post?
I'm not in photo.
Go on Instagram. I posted this picture with the caption. If it is you go do a make or you will man sign you.
Yes, let me tell you, the thing is that Uzoho is not a good goalkeeper. Yes, everybody is aware of it. But Uzoho is just like this Manchester City goalkeeper, Edison Morris. That guy is not a good goalkeeper. But what is protecting him? The kind of defenders that are around him. That's what is protecting Uzoho. Will you tell me that Onana is not a good goalkeeper? Onana is a good goalkeeper, but the kind of defense that is around Onana that is making him to be doing unnecessary mistakes.
Did you watch? Did you watch the game against Saudi Arabia?
I watched the game.
Did you see the first? Did you see the first goal Uzoho considered? Where's the place of the defender in that kind of goal?
Immediately I saw the goal. Immediately I saw that goal, I left.
Okay.
That one, I know is the one I did that one, but sorry, just look at it. Nigeria, I was still saying that Nigeria has a system of football. Nigeria doesn't have a system of football. And so all these West African countries don't have a system of football. Okay, go to all these North African teams. They have a system of football, defend, and make sure they score you, and make sure that not allow the opponent to score them. So that's the kind of system. We don't have system here. We are just playing football around.
All right.
Football. Okay, this is where they are playing. I don't know how they plan this.
All right, thank you.
So that's what I'm telling you to do for this AFCON. If not, thank you.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Tell us on the line. All right, so let's move on. Twice for Portugal as they defeated the opponent 5 goals to nil. They played against Bosnia and Herzegovina yesterday in Zenica. The man scored twice. So no 5 goals Portugal scored came in the first half. Bruno Fernandes, Joe Cancelo, Joe Felix scoring as well for the Portuguese national team. Ronaldo's taken his international tally to 127 goals for Portugal. As a matter of fact, and the Portuguese national team has now had 8 wins from 8 tries. Now, UT, Roberto Martinez, the coach of the side, left Belgium. And, of course, came to the side. Well, Fernando Santos listened to the clamor by football fans. Dropped Ronaldo in a few games at the World Cup. Martinez came in, re-dropped Ronaldo to the team, and he's been scoring goals since then.
Ronaldo wasn't the problem of Portugal. That's basically the truth. We've seen that a bulk of the goal-scoring chances has been the one converting it. And, of course, we also talk about other players around Cristiano Ronaldo as well. Quite quality lads. We're talking Cancelo, a left-back rather, or a right-back particularly, depending on where he plays at a particular point in time. Been scoring goals. We're talking Rafael, Bruno Fernandes moving forward. Of course, we've had quality when it has to do with the Portuguese national team. But, of course, you've also had to have experience, and that's where Cristiano Ronaldo comes in. He brings in very handy. Scoring over 120, of course, goals for the national team. That's something very handy for him. And it looks like the man may just, you never know, might just sparkle in next year's Euro. That's 2024 Euro, because I don't see the chances of him, getting back and not playing. He will want to represent Portugal by next year. And certainly, we'll see the Cristiano Ronaldo.
He's the highest goal scorer in 2023 with 40 goals. As a matter of fact, you just cannot take your eyes off this man's quality, even at 38 years of age.
Yeah, fantastic footballer, but the problem I have with all our conversation is we're making it seem like Cristiano Ronaldo is a star man for Portugal these days. He's not. When you look at the game, Portugal defeated the opening Bosnia 5-0. First half, basically that. So they could stop anybody. Anybody could have scored for them. But I love the fact that I praise Cristiano Ronaldo, because I'm listening to UT and he's saying Ronaldo wasn't a problem and he's going to sparkle in the next Euros. Ronaldo won't sparkle at the next Euro. And typical of that, he's the legend of that country and he's played for a long time. He's no more at his peak. Yes, he's adding up the numbers. He's playing for a decent team. That's it for me. But on the records, 127 international goals. That's something massive at the age of 38, because at the age of 38, many players have retired from football. In fact, they're not even talking about football again.
People are coaches at 38.
Go and ask Wayne Rooney. But it's that conversation. I'd throw a jab there because he's difficult.
Absolutely. Well, there were loads of games you saw yesterday. Austria defeated Azerbaijan by a goal to nil. Belgium and Sweden stood at 1-1. Was suspended due to 2 football fans shot. And of course, it's been a story well thought for the Swedish people, as a matter of fact. Gibraltar lost Ireland for goals to nil. Greece lost Netherlands a goal to nil. Virgil van Dijk scoring the only goal of the game in the 90+3 minute. Iceland falling against Liechtenstein. Of course, Luxembourg losing to Slovakia by a goal to nil. What games expected today? A rematch, a remake, a repeat of what happened in 2021.
I think England have added up in terms of quality. You look at the emergence of younger talents. Jude Bellingham doing giant strides for them. And of course, I also made mention of the man John Stone, their third choice goalkeeper, who have also been rotated. We saw him in the last game also playing for the English national team. And it certainly shows you that no particular sport, it's quite permanent for any player. If you are deep in form, you're quite droppable. But I think it would be a different case for them, particularly this time out. I could recall, I think the last Euro final against Italy. Italy were the better side. Look at how Italy were under Roberto Mancini. I think there have been a shift now in guard. Luciano Spalletti coming in, but then they have to be at their very best in order to defeat Italy. Otherwise, you may just see the repeats of what happened in the last Euro finals.
I don't know if it's just me. I have never trusted England, despite their quality, because I think they should do better.
Well, at qualifiers, I always trust England. They do quite well at qualifiers. Most likely the first to qualify from their group. Last World Cup, I think the biggest problem with England is when it matters most at the biggest stage. When they meet teams that they seem a little stronger than, they always show class and dominance. Like I remember the last World Cup taking on France, and you could watch the English side. They took on Senegal, met nonsense of Senegal and the rest of the team, apart from struggling against United States of America in that group stage of the World Cup. But when they saw France, everyone started fidgeting because they were playing against Kylian Mbappe, and I'm wondering what's going on here. But they've got the quality. Our problem is the mental block they have. But against Italy, I do not see that happening. They're the favorite to win this one. And you see the points in this group. England must win this game or pull a draw in order to qualify for the Euros 2024. And it's quite a big one now, because you look at the other game, Ukraine also playing a lesser opponent, and Ukraine have 10 points, Italy have 10 points, and Italy will give all the fight in this particular game to see how to get a result on it. I think it's going to be a tough game, but in the overall, do not expect England to lose this game.
All right, let's talk to a football fan. Good afternoon, welcome. Please call me back if you're... All right, so let's look at Manchester United. Like that, it was confirmed 2 days ago that the Qatari banker, what's his name now? Yes, Sheikh Jassim has withdrawn his bid to buy off the 100% stake at Manchester United. Well, after a lengthy period of rigorous negotiations, the Glazer family said no to the money this man was bringing, over $7 billion, not dollars, pounds, as a matter of fact. It doesn't end there. As a matter of fact, we hear that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is set to buy 25% stake at Manchester United. And that 25% stake, he's going to be in charge of the football operations in the football club. And while we hear that Ten Hag is going to get some reassurances that he's part of Jim Ratcliffe's plans for United. And that's the story. Well, UT, they rejected big money from from Sheikh Jassim. And they're set to get money from Sir Jim Ratcliffe to just be in charge of the football aspect of the club.
Well, it certainly shows that the Glazer family, they didn't want to sell the club outrightly, because if they wanted to do it, then of course the better choice was Sheikh Jassim, who bid for about £7 billion. And that certainly shows you. It looks like they were just in need of a minority stakeholder in the club, and that's Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So I wouldn't really know the structure of the side and what they really want for the football club. But I think there is a demand now to change the quality of maintaining rather the training pitches, and of course also enlarging the capacity of the stadium moving forward.
Right.
And I think maybe that's what Jim Ratcliffe is coming to do at Manchester
The owner of
United.
Nice Football Club, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Well, I mean, he's familiar with the football things, as a matter of fact.
He has Nice. I think he has a majority stake at Nice.
Yeah, he's basically the owner of Nice at the end of the day. So, what are the changes expected from Sir Jim football-wise?
Well, I think the coming days we'll get to see it, but on the other hand, we've seen half the Glazers having a grab of that club. There are 6 siblings in that club now, the Glazers, 6 of them, and they have speculative shares. But across board, their shares isn't that big. I think Avram and Joel Glazers, they have the most of the shares for the Glazers family, 16% and 19%, thereabout shared across the 2 of them. But Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming in, about 25%, that's huge percentage in terms of a stake of a club.
£1.3 billion.
Absolutely, but it doesn't have all the stakes and all the opportunity to make that decision. But it's still subjected to approval, because they're meeting on Thursday to approve the deal. And until that happens, we begin to see where he'll function.
Sir Jim is English, so there's not going to be stress.
Well, you never can tell. Probably now the media is saying he's going to be the one in charge of running the football club.
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest concerns...
The football aspect of the club.
Part of the club.
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest concerns over time has always been, from a United's point of view, the fans have always talked about the running of the club, and thanks to Cristiano Ronaldo, he really made that public and popular. Everyone saw that Manchester United...
That their bathroom is...
Yeah. The same bathroom we saw in 1990.
So let's get to see what gets to happen.
Right.
But I do not see them go into the spending frailties that we've always talked about. When had it been the Sheikh was part of the system,
it would have been a more better deal.
Total overturn of that club and lots of spending. I heard what the Sheikh was about to bring was up to £8 billion, £2 billion for renovation and everything at Old Trafford. And I hear one part of the stands at Old Trafford now is leaking. The roof is leaking, and nothing has been done about it for a while. And it's that concern. And then we're really thinking about it. Do we solve this, or we wait for the takeover to happen? And finally, the takeover is happening, and we're likely going to see why.
If they can no longer maintain the club side, they should sell it outright.
Mary, you begin to wonder why Old Trafford wasn't chosen for part of the 2030,
qualifiers.
Euro qualifiers. He wasn't chosen. It was a Citizen Stadium that
Etihad wasn't chosen either.
Etihad is chosen.
Okay.
Well, it's not just a Nigerian thing. You know,
it happens everywhere.
Like I don't see
That's why the fans
like I don't get Messi Amaka like Old Trafford. No disrespect to Messi United, by the way. That's a joke. That's a clear joke, please. Basifreku Doc on the live feed says, good afternoon, Planet Sports Crew. Watching all the way from Delta State. Thank you so much, Abbas. Joseph Sabera says, I think the Uyo Township Stadium is good enough to host the MPFL. Why are they taking a quad to a kit? Never know. Xavier Hazard says, good afternoon, my people. Not yet believe if Chelsea are back to winning ways until they beat Arsenal. All right. NPFL reporter says, good afternoon, football fans, Planet. For the issue of ticketing in the NPFL match, they're really making a big mistake collecting gate fine. That's the truth. You should throw the stadium open for free to gain more support by encouraging people to come and watch football matches freely. Gradually, when people have loved it, they can now start including gate fee. Well, this is the gist for another time. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Yes, sir. Holland.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Holland.
How is everybody?
We did very fine. How about you?
Okay, thank God. I'm sorry for not being frequently and because of some issues. But I believe more time, everything will be sorted. So I want to talk about my team. Man City need to do something about the midfield because what is really happening, I don't really like it since De Bruyne and De Bruyne is injured and Gundogan is out. The team has not been as it's supposed to be. So I think they should have bring in a better person, not Kovacic. Kovacic cannot blend into the system for now. That's my take. Have a nice day, Mary.
Thank you so much, Harlan, for talking to us this afternoon. Well, the crisis continues at the Italian national team blighted. Now, it's a funny thing. You know, Nicolo Fagioli and, of course, the Newcastle man, what's his name, Sandro Tonali, well, set to be banned for betting. And, of course, when I heard the story, it was quite sad because these players are addicted to betting. And that's a sad thing. You know, the Fagioli's agent was saying that these guys are addicted to betting over time. And when he was asked, how did you start betting? You know what he said? Sandro Tonali shared me the app.
Zaniolo said it?
No, the Fagioli, Fagioli youngster.
Okay.
He said Sandro Tonali gave me the app.
Yeah, I've heard stories about it, especially Tonali, and many say he's addicted to it. When betting gets to be an addiction, that's something. It's
one thing to be an addiction. It's another thing for you to have that much. To have that much money, but you're betting.
It's totally unprofessional for a professional player to bet, and they should know that. If you were betting before you become a professional, you should also understand that as a professional footballer, in center climbs, you are not expected to bet. So I don't know why players, as you're going on doing this, over time we've had cases like that, recently with the Brentford striker, and it's not good particularly for them because it slows down the beauty of the game entirely. Imagine you're banned for 4 or 5 months and you're back in action.
About 7 months.
Or 7 months. I mean, you can't really expect the level of performance
that's my concern.
Back into the team as well.
My concern is the fact that, you know, because you're betting, you might probably want to manipulate games on your own.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the reason we don't want players to be part of that betting thing. But it's quite concerning. But on the other hand, we're looking at it, especially young lads are going to betting so early. We're seeing it even in Nigeria. So you imagine, if there's an addiction on betting, he becomes a footballer. How does he get to stop? And that's the story about Tonali for me. I hear Newcastle are supporting him, just as we had Brentford was supporting Ivan Toney. But it's that story and quite sad for him. And it could even feature for Newcastle over the weekend. And that's a story, but a huge concern for footballers.
Thank you so much, Blyden. Well, this is a clarion call. Invest wisely. Thank you so much, you two, for being a part of the show as well.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that's it. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so there's a lot to expect for the shows tomorrow, 7:30 to 8 and 3 to 4 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, do all to have